Welcome to Bringing It All Back Home. I'm Randy Mason. With me is Gloria Thrown. Gloria is the director, and I think it'd be safe to say the main energy force behind the Kansas Folklore Center. That's a name that is just about as vague as Bringing It All Back Home, so maybe Gloria could fill us in on a few of the details behind the Folklore Center.
Well, the Folklore Center is a place to get the folks together, I guess. And the primary emphasis is on music, although I'm interested in folklore in general. And I guess the Folklore Center sort of was an outgrowth of the Wednesday night jam session, really, and sort of my own musical needs. I moved here 10 years ago and couldn't find people to play music with, so I started the jam session.
And then the Folklore Center has evolved into what at this point?
Well, this Wednesday night jam session put me in touch with a lot of musicians, and I found out there's a lot of people around here, for instance, who want to learn to play fiddle. So I started organizing fiddle workshops and bringing in fiddlers from Missouri and around eastern Kansas to give workshops. And then as I started to go to festivals out here, I'd find performers that just happened to be passing by Lawrence, so I'd kind of twist their arm a little bit and get them to stop by here. So, and it's just kind of evolved with no general plan in mind, but it's the activities have increased so much now that I feel like we kind of need a general overall plan. We can't just kind of go on last-minute ideas much longer.
You talked about bringing in people from outside. So,
right.
So basically, the place is centered in Lawrence,
right,
but is not necessarily just a local gathering spot.
No, but I'd say that is the primary emphasis. A lot of the folk concerts we've have featured just local people, say within a 50-mile area, and that's one of my main interest, I think, is getting people to play their own music and share it with other people right around here.
On tonight's show, we have kind of a preview of this year's Winfield June Jamboree. Some of the particularly folk-oriented artists that are going to be there. 4 of them have managed to find their way into Lawrence, and maybe Gloria can tell us a little bit more about them.
Well, we're going to be hearing Jay and Lynn Ungar. I guess Lynn books herself as Lynn Hardy. Jay used to go to school at K-State in Manhattan. He's a great fiddler, and Lynn backs him up on guitar, plays a little Jew's harp, a few other things. And then we're going to be hearing Ken Bloom and Lisa Knowle, who have not performed together until here in Lawrence, but they are booked at some festivals together this year. Ken is an instrument maker and performs on all sorts of strange and bizarre instruments, and Lisa plays guitar, just dulcimer, and sings beautiful ballads and other songs.
Also has a record company of her own.
Right, she has a Green Linnet, Innisfree, and is producing some lesser-known groups and a lot of Irish music.
Do you think that the people who've come through for this will be likely to return to this area as a result of the way things have gone?
Well, I think they'd like to have seen a few more people come out to hear them, but I think the people who did come, they found to be a very appreciative audience, and they played with some of the local musicians here and were really pleased to find some people here to play with. And that's part of it for a lot of the folk musicians that are traveling around. They like to go see what's going on in the different areas. And for Lisa, this is her first trip to Kansas, and she's just glad to have a chance to look around a little bit.
Okay, Gloria, thanks for coming down. We'll have the highlights from these 2 sessions at Off the Wall Hall earlier this week when we return to Bringing It All Back Home.
This is a song
himself.
about the Car River. No, actually, no. It's about somebody who drowns himself in the river.
Why do we always sing these songs about people drowning themselves or getting drowned? That's all I know.
Right.
That's all there are, like you said,
Nobody-
you know. Hurting. They either get split in twain or thrain or
You ever
thrown
hear
in
the
the river.
Hudson River? That's the one that's where we live, the Hudson River. We knew a fellow who tried to drown himself in that, but he dissolved before he drowned.
One, two, three, four. I'm going to that river, that shivery river, that river that leads down to the sea. I'm gonna drown my troubles, they'll be just a bubble to indicate what used to be me. I've made my will, I've wrote some notes. I'm gonna keep on walking till my straw hat floats. I'm ready for that river, I said that shivery river. So get that river ready for me, for me. I get that river ready for me. I said I'm ready for that river, that shivery river. So get that river ready for me. I'm gonna drown my troubles, they'll be just a bubble to indicate what used to be me. I said I've made my will, I've wrote some notes. I'm gonna keep on walking till my straw hat floats. I'm ready for that river, that shivery river. So get that river ready for me, for me. I said get that river ready for me. I said that muddy water's got me. Oh yeah.
The music does, in a sense, say something. The traditional music and traditional Orient acoustic music, the kind of music where you can pick your instruments up in your hands and walk away and that's it. That's everything. It's simpler and it's more basic. It's more earthy, something like that. And for some reason, for that reason, it's associated with a lot of things that are going on now, like people becoming aware of being poisoned by nuclear power and things in their food. And as that grows, people's awareness and attempts to do something about that, I think this music will really be a part of it. Thank you. Take a short break and be back in a little bit.
See ya. Ken Bloom and Lisa Knowle are two folk and traditional musicians with somewhat differing approaches to their art. Before their first ever performance together, they gave us a few insights into the way each of them looks at things.
Folk music to me is, I probably think of it in a little broader terms than many people do. I think of it as the music of the folks. And that includes a lot more than just what you find on Folkways records, or just what people normally think of as traditional music. In the 20th century, how can you help being bombarded with so many different things? And me being, I'm from an upper middle class family in Los Angeles. My background is anything but the hills of Kentucky, and it'd be pretty hypocritical of me, I think. I just wouldn't feel right myself, say, concentrating in an area that I don't have a lot of relation to. There's music that I was raised with, most of which was sort of jazz and swing oriented.
The man I usually work with that I'll be at the Winfield Festival with, Bill Shute, was trained as a jazz guitarist and was a rock guitarist for many years, and he is very pure. He's probably the person who's most unlike, when we're together, he was with me because he wants to play these old traditional songs. And so having this opportunity to play with Ken is going to give me a chance maybe to venture into some territories I don't always do.
For the last 4 or 5 years, I've primarily performed by myself. Before that, I played in a lot of different types of bands. Rock and roll bands and touring bands out of Hollywood, country western bands, bluegrass bands, you name it.
Ethnic bands too.
Yeah, I was with the
jazz?
I was with a Turkish orchestra for about 3 years. I used to play Greek gigs occasionally with this accordion player. That kind of stuff.
Many of us who are into this kind of music went into it not because we had a particular desire to be a performer, but because we loved the music and found that it was taking up an awful lot of our time, until suddenly that seemed to become the vocational center of what we were doing. It wasn't a hobby anymore. And I'm certainly that way. I never thought of myself as a performer. I simply loved the music, and I took up performing as a way of justifying the time I was spending on the music. So I've had to learn performing. It hasn't been easy. What I really care about is not wowing an audience, but building a participatory sense. The music that I sing is very low-key, and it was made to be sung in living rooms, not in nightclubs. And it's a very hard thing to find how I can sustain an audience interest with a music that never was really meant to be a commercial music in the first place. And one way I've found that I can do this is to involve the audience in almost a sense of musical community.
Oh, I work in the mines where the sun never shines, nor daylight does never appear. With my lamp blazing red on the top of my head, and in danger I never know fear. Come on. Oh, I work in the mines where the sun never shines, nor daylight does never appear. With my lamp blazing red on the top of my head, and in danger I never know fear. Now that must feel as good as it sounds. I'm a hard-working miner, you can see by my hands, although I am honest and free. Oh, $1 a day is very small pay for a man with large family. Oh, I work in the mines where the sun never shines, nor daylight does never appear. With my lamp blazing red on the top of my head, and in danger I never know fear. Oh, pity the poor man who works in the mines with the mules and the rats underground, where the smoke is so thick you can cut it with a stick, you can weigh it on scales by the pound. Oh, I work in the mines where the sun never shines, nor daylight does never appear. With my lamp blazing red on the top of my head, and in danger I never know fear. Take it, miner. Oh, my face, it is black from the dust of the coal, though my heart, it is open and free. I would share my last loaf with a man that's in want, though I earned it so hard, you see. And now, my kind friends, I must bid you goodbye. I cannot stay here anymore. I will pick up my pack, throw it over my back, and I'm sure I will ne'er see you more. Oh, I work in the mines where the sun never shines, nor daylight does never appear. With my lamp blazing red on the top of my head, and in danger I never know fear.
One thing that I've noticed about traditional musicians from all over the world is they're mainly interested in music. They're interested in just playing music, and that seemed to me like, gee, that's a real good idea. You know, every really great player I've ever met has been that way. They've always been very open to a lot of things. The people that always kind of I had a difficulty getting along with were ones who did a very narrow range of music as a political cause almost, you know. I can only do this, and anything else I won't even listen to, you know. Obviously you can't play everything well, you know. You have to concentrate somewhere, someplace. I'm trying.
I was just going to ask.
It's hard. It's hard. Thank you. Most people are only familiar with the Scotch bagpipes, the big war pipes. These are Northumbrian pipes. These are from Northumberland, which is the northernmost county in England. And yeah, it's the only instrument I have that has an opinion, you know. Here's a strange instrument. This is the guitar. Now, for this one tune, I have brought my bass player with me, and I'd like to introduce him to you. It's later in the evening, so you should all be able to see him pretty well. He's standing right there. His name's Harvey. For those of you who don't get out to many plays, Harvey is a 6-foot invisible rabbit that plays the bass. Notice the lascivious way in which he cocks his left ear. Now, Harvey's concept of melody is absolutely impeccable. He's always got the right notes, you know, they're always perfect, every one of them. However, rhythmically, he's a little stodgy. So after years of our playing together, I've learned to work within his rhythmic limitations. Another bride, another groom, another sunny honeymoon, another reason, another season for making whoopee. A lot of shoes, a lot of rice. The groom is nervous, he answers twice. Isn't it killing that he's so willing for making whoopee? Picture a little love nest down where the roses cling. Picture that same sweet love nest. See what a year can bring. He's washing dishes and baby clothes. He's so ambitious, he even sews. But don't forget, folks, that's what you get, folks, for making whoopee. Play it, Harvey. My turn. He doesn't make much money, only 5,000 per. And some judge who thinks he's funny, he wants to give 6 to her. Well, I said, Judge, what if I fail? The judge says, Bloom, you go to jail. You better keep her, I think it's cheaper than making whoopee. This is written by a friend of mine who wanted to combine the best of two worlds, movie stars and rent-a-cars, into one song, okay? Now, you guys are real good at singing. So I won't even give you this chorus because you'll just catch it right off. It's an easy one, okay? So you'll hear me do it the first time, and the second time you can just get right into it, okay? Of course, it starts out by going. Well, this time you've gone too far. You're just trying to be a movie star. Went out and rented you a big car and it really hurts. But I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do, cause I'm gonna be just super as you. As I try harder, I'm number 2. You might be Superman, Batman, I'm here just a rad man. I think I better scan me before I can find man. Anything you can do, I can do too. I'm gonna be just super as you. As I try harder, I'm number 2. In your automobile, it cost everything a big bar was steal. Taking pretty women at the turn of the wheel, but you're a bum steer. But I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do, cause I'm gonna be just super as you. As I try harder, I'm number 2. Everybody, you might be Superman, Batman, I'm here just a rad man. I think I better scan me before I can find man. Anything you can do, I can do too. I'm gonna be just super as you. As I try harder, I'm number 2. Yes, harder and harder, I'm number 2.